Griddle Master. Cooking up the good stuff.
Hey, Griddle Master Joe here. We are going to do a T-bone or two. So let's just jump right in. We got our griddle top, it's getting hot. I have my steaks here. I have not marinated them. I have not done anything. But what I do want to do is we're just going to salt and pepper them. And pepper. These are pretty thick, so we don't have to worry about having too much. Flip it and do the other side. We get a paper towel. I like to push it down a little, just so I know it's stuck to it. Now our top over here is pretty hot, so I'm going to go ahead and all I'm going to do initially is sear it. Before I drop that on there, I want to use a little butter oil. Must be grabbing the other one. All right. Yeah. The sound of goodness. All right. So we're just going to let that go for a little bit. I want to put on some mushrooms. We're cooking cream spinach all on the griddle top. Mushrooms, I'm going to leave them whole and cook them that way. I did wash them, but I do see just a little bit of dirt right there. Boom. Now, cream spinach, we're doing that, we're doing the mushrooms, and we're doing some garlic bread, or in this case, onion bread. The bread doesn't have to go on right yet. I want this steak to get seared on both sides, and then we're going to put a cooling rack down, and we're going to let it, we're going to put a dome over there, so it can finish out the rest of the cooking that way. Okay, so to recap, we got the steaks going. We're just going to sear them for a little bit on each side. We got the mushrooms going. We have some garlic bread that we took pizza crust that you buy in the store. You can click in the description, go down below in the description of the YouTube video, and we'll have a link to what we did to get it to that stage. So this has been long enough for this side. And again, all we're doing here is we're searing, and that's why I like with if you don't have this big of a grill and you have a regular grill, you can order a 3-inch lift, a 3-inch lift, and you can actually take your steak and put it right up against the edge. Probably not like the T-bone here because they're so curved. But it's okay, I got something for that. Alright, these mushrooms are going. wanna steam these mushrooms a little bit, and I'm gonna do Worcestershire. And the bowl. Help if I took the lid off, yeah? Okay, that is long enough for the steaks. Because again, all I wanted to do was sear them. I'm going to put set them on the cooling rack, and I'm going to put the fat facing the fattiest part of it, facing this direction. And you'll know why here in a minute. Because the heat is coming up here, I am going to use one of these aluminum pans. With a handle. And this is why you can't have too many handlets. Look at that there. I'm going to turn my burners all the way to low. So I only have these two burners on and this one is off. I do have this one on. Now look, I'm going to, look at that. I just moved the mushrooms around. So, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my spinach down. I want the spinach to cook down. So we have all this. I'm going to go ahead and just dump it all out here. Squirt a little bit of water on there, because as we know, steam is what makes it go down, cook down. So you could do this in a pot. I have a pot that I'm going to be finishing it all off in the pot, but I'd rather just do it all right here on the griddle top. A lot of recipes tell you to boil this. I want the nutrients to stay in as much as possible. These mushrooms, I could have waited. I don't need them on right away, but whew, hot. And that's the benefit of a handlet. Look at that. Imagine lifting that bowl off and on, trying to get up underneath it. And now, what I want to be careful of is the steak. I want to take a look at it. Especially when you're getting started with a Griddlemaster griddle top and you're doing sensitive cooking like this, understand the heat comes up, it comes around, so it's smacking this side of the steaks. So we have to be careful that it doesn't burn it. But we are on low. Everything's on low, and even here, with the spinach, I have this burner off, this one's on low, this one's off, this one's on low. So we're not using much heat here to cook this meal. But if you look, and this is what is, I cannot get this across enough to you. Do you see the smoke coming out of this? This is adding flavor to your steaks that you typically don't get. So because we're on a griddle top, this is dripping down, hitting the steel, causing it to smoke and get a flavor that comes up and infuses the meat. So that's why I wanted to do a steak. I've cooked steaks on the griddle top and just on the griddle top alone. But in this case, I wanted to do it slow, and I'm even turning this one off. I only have one on, and it's on as low as it can go, just so you know. All right, I think this is good enough. So what I'm gonna do with this, and I have so many of these bowls, it is just so handy to have. I have one as my trash, I'm using one as a dome, and here I'm gonna put this in. Very nice. So I'm gonna let this cool off just a little bit, and I don't want all this water. I want cream spinach, not watered spinach. Okay, so we're gonna take the bowl off here, and I don't want to overcook these mushrooms right now. So we're just going to put them back in the bowl here. What I'm going to do is I want to clean. I don't want to put a lot of water because I don't want that to react all crazy to steel. So a little bit, and let's just clean it off. Just so it doesn't go on the bottom of the pot. Okay? Put the pot on here. And I'm going to put the 2 burners on. And actually I have these 2 on. That's off. So we'll have those burners on, because what we want to do is we want to saute. We have some onions and garlic. Now what I wanted to do on the steaks, ooh, they're looking great. This is butter and garlic. If you could smell this, you'd be freaking out right now. So we have our onion and garlic and butter. 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay, so as you see, you know, the good thing about the griddle top is a lot of things just take care of themselves for a while. I'm gonna just put a paper towel down here to get the grease and stuff that's coming down from the steaks. What do I do with it? I dump it in my trash can. Boom. Alright, so while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try one of these mushrooms since I hear it yelling out to me. Oh, wow. Do you like mushrooms? Oh, man. You can reach.
Oh, I'm okay. I'll try that. I was saying check the steak because I hear it going.
Look at that. Okay, so here we are. All I want to do is just cut this up a little. We don't want the long spinach leaves. That's it. So the spinach is ready to go back in. Hey, you want to come over and check out the steaks? Look at this. Watch this. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip the steaks over. And I want to add me some more butter and garlic. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, because of the time frame, I'm going to move this over, and I'm hoping the bread will balance there. So we have the bread that has rose up. Now I need a bigger, which I have made, which is a double.
Good.
And so again, we only have one burner on. We're only heating with one burner, and you see how it's cooking that steak. All right, so this is all ready. Okay, so this has been to about 8 to 10 minutes, and it's on low. So it's just sweating and everything. So I have some nutmeg that I want to put in, and some salt and pepper. We don't need much salt because we're going to be putting Parmesan cheese in. Okay, let's add some flour. Make like a roux. I want to hold this pot, but I don't want to burn my hand. Okay. Add some milk.
Half and half.
And I did say milk. We added the half and half. Get this to mix up good. I'm going to put in some cream cheese, some Parmesan cheese, and some mozzarella.
Okay.
I want to check this because this is something you have to babysit, because especially with the bread. Wow, look at those breads. Whoa. You can eat like a king if you cook this meal. And you see how easy it is. So we have bread. This is getting thicker. I don't know if you can pick it up. I just want to get all these pieces, the cream cheese and everything melted in. All right, we'll dump this in. check my burners. I'm turning it all off. So I only have 2 burners on. I have this one on and I have one over here just to finish up the steak. The recipe actually called for a little bit more spinach. I just didn't want to buy a whole nother big one. So really this should have probably a half more spinach in it than just one container. But it'll get the point across. It still looks real good. So this is ready. I'll put those mushrooms on just to heat them up a little bit when I'm ready. Let's see how the bread's looking. So what I'd like to show you is see how it's toasted here. So what I'd like to do in this case is take the tray, maybe I'll use tongs instead. I want to just rotate the bread. So that way the heat comes up and it'll smack the other side now.
The steak's done.
And I think the steaks are done. I'm going to go ahead and take the steaks off so that they can settle a little bit. So we went back to the smaller one. Now what I'm going to do is just get a couple. I'm going to get a couple bowls. I see carrots here. Okay, so all we're doing now is we're waiting for the steaks to cool a little bit. You don't want to cut a steak too soon. You want to let it settle, because if you do, as soon as you cut it, it's like it's boiling inside. As soon as you cut it, all that juice from all over is going to run right out of the steak, and thus you'll have a puddle. So you want to let it set for 5 to 10 minutes minimally, typically. I'm finishing up the bread. The spinach is ready to go. And then I have the mushrooms here. So all I'm going to do with the mushrooms is just drop them on. And remember I said I have this one still on right here. We're just heating them up. So that's a quick process. And the bread should be done here within a minute or 2 more. And we're done. We're done. We're ready to eat. So let me go ahead and get the mushrooms off. We'll plate it up and we'll give it a taste and see. Okay, Griddle Master Joe, we're done with the pictures. Now it's time to try out the goods. So I cut the meat, and if you look, now this is the benefit of cooking on low. Remember, I only have 1 burner on, coming up and around, and it seared the whole, so the steak isn't going to cook in 5 minutes. It's going to take like 20 minutes to cook, but it's going to sear and char the outside, but the inside is still moist, not raw, but moist, and a good medium to medium rare, which is the way I like my meat. So now just salt and pepper with the butter garlic on there. Your tongue hits the flavors and it's just incredible. Okay, this is another that I haven't made before, the cream spinach. So let's see what, and I'll be honest with you if I don't like it. But I do like it. If you're a cream spinach fan, we will put the recipe online for you. We'll put the whole recipe. So if you want to make the big amount, but what I made was kind of like a third of the amount. And it just needed a little more spinach to the cream ratio. But the flavor of the cream, the spinach, it's spot on. The mushrooms I can already tell you because I ate like 3 of them while I was cooking. You just didn't see because video editing. That's just butter and Worcestershire sauce. But again, when you put the dome over top and it starts to smoke, that all gets infused in your food. So having to handle it with a bowl so you don't burn your hands is priceless. And sometimes I'll have 3 bowls going at once. And remember, this is pizza crust. This is the raw dough that you can buy in your store. And you can watch the video of what we did here in the kitchen to make these. And all it is butter and onion pieces. And this is moist and soft and oniony. So what better to soak up some of the juices from your meat? Look at that. And then to cram that in your face. I've died and gone to heaven. This is amazing. This may be one of my favorite meals. We got the T-bone, so we got the filet mignon. We got the strip. We got mushrooms. We have cream spinach, which is taken from the Morton's line, if you've ever eaten at Morton's. And then you have onion bread. Oh my goodness gracious. So, high five. Love it. Again, if you like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube or vice versa, whatever. We would appreciate that. And comment, feel free to comment below. We'd love to hear from you. And give me a challenge. Tell me what you'd like me to try to make. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And hope you have a great, great day.